there is a shadow GM that is calling the shots for the Dallas Mavericks. Anything from trades to drafting to even setting Rick Carlisle's lineups is being run by a guy by the name of Haralabos Vulgaris, who is a well-known sports gambler that was hired by Mark Cuban in 2018. Now, originally he was just supposed to be like the head of quantitative research, the director of quantitative research and development, but apparently this vastly understates his role, and him and Luka Doncic don't like each other. Now, bear in mind, Donnie Nelson, the president of basketball operations for the Dallas Mavericks over the past 24 years, is notorious for having these ties to Europe. You know, he's the guy that uncovered the gem that was Dirk Nowitzki. He knew Luka Doncic from when Luka was a very young kid. As a result, Luka and Donnie are really, really close. Now, the issue with Vulgaris is he is pretty much doing Donnie Nelson's job. You know, like, he's a guy that, a very good example is Donnie Nelson spearheaded the trade for Kristaps Porzingis. He was the guy that made the Josh Richardson trade, whereas Vulgaris made the acquisition of Seth Curry and DeLon Wright, and even said that DeLon Wright should start next to Luka Doncic. And so this report comes out. The craziest example is this year's NBA draft, the 2020 NBA draft. Most members of the scouting department joined the Dallas Mavericks' war room remotely through Zoom. And the moment they joined, they found out that, hey, we drafted Josh Green and Tyrell Terry. You know, like, and despite scouts disagreeing with him, he got his way. Now, at the time, when Mark Cuban was reached out for a report on this, he said that, I really like what Bob brings to the table. He does a great job of supporting Rick and the front office with unique data insights. He has a great grasp of AI and the opportunities it creates for gaining an advantage, which is important to him. But he isn't any more influential than any other data source on the team. And when this was tweeted out, Mark Cuban quote tweeted Tim Cato and called it absolute and total bullshit. So a few days later, exactly 3 days later, the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks for the past 24 years, a guy that Luka Doncic is close with, steps down as president of basketball operations. And in the Athletic article on that, apparently this was due to Donnie Nelson beginning to wonder if he was truly in charge of the coaching staff anymore, what his role was, him wanting Vulgaris to stay in his lane to avoid overstepping the bounds of his role and focus on being a trusted advisor to Cuban, whose analytics-based views would always be taken into account. And unfortunately, as a result, the Dallas Mavericks and Donnie Nelson parted ways because Vulgaris wouldn't stay in his lane. A few days after that, we heard that Rick Carlisle will not be returning to the Dallas Mavericks. So this is a huge, there's like multiple storylines here, which is why I made like 4 videos on it. One is Mark Cuban blatantly lied to us. He called it total BS, but you have this Vulgaris guy who doesn't like Luka Doncic, which results in the guy that Luka Doncic likes, Donnie Nelson, stepping down as president. You have Rick Carlisle potentially being pushed out by Luka Doncic. Apparently there was some friction there because Rick Carlisle wanted to, is known as a little bit more of a disciplinarian, and he had to loosen his reins a little bit. It was tough for him to coach Luka Doncic. And then you have multiple storylines going on here. So what do you guys think about this, and what should the Dallas Mavericks do? Is there any hope for them? Do you what's their next move in this case when your head coach of 10 plus years that won the only championship in your franchise's history steps down, and a general manager that was there for 20 plus years steps down? That's stability out of the window.
If you ask me, I think the decision of what they do next is easy. I think they do whatever the F Luka wants them to do. I think Luka saw that quote from Mark Cuban, and he was like, oh, okay, really? And he started pulling some strings.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, Luka, technically, Luka, I doubt he doesn't accept, the super max contract offer that he's going to get. However, with that in mind, there's nothing stopping Luka Doncic from at any point in time saying, I'm not playing for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm demanding a trade. So, yeah, they do whatever Luka wants because he is a generational talent. And that's just how it is. That's what happened with LeBron. We've heard La GM, for his entire career at this point. Like, get your things in Dallas are horrible. Like, you can't, there's just no sugarcoating it. Like, when your GM and head coach both are gone within days, amidst rumors of Porzingis not being happy, amidst everything that's already happening, it is right now in Dallas, it is not good. They have to get their shit together. They have to figure out what they're doing. If I'm a head coach, the problem, it's tough because now it's you're looking at that job as what's going on in the front office. You're coaching Luka, but what is happening in the front office? Because there has to be some legitimacy to that Athletic article, or a lot of legitimacy to that Athletic article with everything that has gone down since that was posted.
I'm not sure if I would I don't know. This is so crazy to say, but I'm not sure if I would jump at the opportunity to coach Luka, especially seeing that there was friction between Carlisle and Luka. If I was a coach, I'd want to coach a young team on the up and up. I know a lot of guys want to coach superstars, and I get that, but when you're coaching stars and you're not coaching a big three, the clock is ticking. From the moment you step in the office, you're basically on the hot seat.
I really wish Daryl Morey would have sat out a year, because I think in terms of the general manager position, I think he'd crush this job. Just building around Luka Doncic, because here's the thing.
Would he take it though? What's if
I think
shadow
he would.
GM, that's the thing though.
The shadow GM ruins everything. So he's probably going to
ruins everything.
So
that's what I'm saying.
The shadow GM is probably going to be the new GM, which honestly, look, it does all sound really bad, and Luka doesn't get along with the shadow GM. But at the same time, if Donnie Nelson is there for 20 plus years and his moves are just not panning out, the Kristaps Porzingis Tim Hardaway trade was an trade, Kristaps isn't really working out there. Maybe they go and bring in a brand new head coach that knows how to integrate him into the offense a little bit more. Maybe they bring in a general manager that senses the urgency to build a team around Luka a little bit better, because my impression of Luka is I don't really think he's the type of guy that wants anything else but to at least compete. And he's at that stage of his career way earlier than Michael Jordan was and way earlier than LeBron James was, where he is facing off against the Los Angeles Clippers and losing consistently in his first two playoff appearances. So it's tough. I am trying to figure out the right head coach for him. It's not Kenny Atkinson. I don't think Luka needs development. I think he needs a head coach that
probably D'Antoni or something, honestly.
D'Antoni, if he wants to stuff the stat sheet and win MVPs, but it depends what he wants, honestly. And I don't know if this Vulgaris guy is the move if Luka doesn't like him. I think he's probably going to get a year, but he's going to be on a short leash, and it's probably going to be very toxic in Dallas for a while.
The thing with whoever they get next at head coach is they're not really hiring the next best head coach. They have to also focus on a coach that's going to keep Luka happy. And that's something that kind of frustrates me a little bit being a Pelicans fan, because it's kind of the same thing with us. We might not get the best basketball mind. We have to find a guy that's going to give us a chance to win, but also we have to weigh that this next coach has to make sure that Zion and Brandon Ingram are happy. I think coaching basketball today is so much harder than it used to be, because it's a players' league.
Yeah, a lot of management.
No,
personalities.
I disagree with that. I mean, it's always been a players' league. Like, I mean, maybe not in like the 80s or something.
Yeah,
but,
no. It's definitely much more of a players' league than it's ever been, and I don't think that's debatable at all.
I think if we go back to like the 2004 season or something like that, there was like a stretch in the Western Conference where literally 14 of the 15 coaches were fired in a 2-year span. So again, it's always been like this.
Well, I mean, that doesn't mean like it was more of a players' league. Then that just means that coaches got fired.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. It's tough because I understand what you're saying with like, you have to keep Luka happy. That's just kind of just what you have to do with every team, though. It's like that's why Doc Rivers, like why he keeps getting hired, is like, the players respect him.
Bro, I definitely disagree with the players' league stuff too, because like, if I'm the Pelicans, honestly, if I'm the Mavericks, I'm hiring Rich Paul as GM, and I'm saying just, hey, bring in your clutch guys. Like that's the point of where I'm at with the NBA.
Yo, low key, that'd be fire. Like, I'd be terrified of the Mavericks if they. I'd be
Seriously,
terrified of the Mavericks if they
Rich
did
Paul
that.
was a GM, bro, I'd be so scared of that team.
That actually would be crazy.
That's where we're at. That's so crazy.
He'd somehow get LeBron. He'd get Bronny. He'd get AD. Like, oh my god,
bro.
Yeah. So, guys, we are capping off the giveaway to the first 40,000 subscribers that turn on our notifications for the Laced Up podcast. All you have to do to enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X is subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to do us a favor, leave a like on the pod and let me know in the comment section down below when it's done. You'll enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X.
If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.